Frank, all the pretty girls walk like this.
I don't see you walking.
Like this.
Oh,
like
there
this.
Got it.
Everything in my head is TikTok songs now. I just don't even.
It's a sad existence for you.
My wife made me chuckle. I'm like, who sings that song? She goes, TikTok. I'm like, they're right.
Wouldn't it be good? See, we should make a band called TikTok. We'd be instantly on everybody's, right on the tip of everybody's tongue.
Where were you 2 years ago? That would have been great. More bad results for the Madeleine McCann girl. The latest on the Trump indictment. That Epstein, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan lawsuit we discussed has now expanded to Deutsche Bank and has moved forward a step. So we'll fill everybody in on the latest there. We might be facing a tequila shortage.
What?
This is the worst news we have ever gotten.
What kind of bullshit?
There was a Hillary Clinton incident. Again, one of these topics where I read the headline and I stop.
Oh, that's okay. So we don't know anything about it.
No.
We don't know anything more than you guys do at this point.
Exactly. Strain lights over Northern California. We got that story. Looks like the Foo Fighters are ready to move on from Taylor Hawkins. And we have another case of a hockey player not wanting to wear a Pride jersey on Pride night.
Come on, man.
All that and more on this episode. How you doing, big man?
I'm hanging in there. It's Monday. Wearing my my coat shirt.
Nice.
All right.
I asked you pre-show. It's kind of feels like it's your Christmas Eve. You didn't seem to indulge me.
I'm not. Listen, I don't delight in the failings of others.
Oh, let's take a look and see what road Frank is on. It's not the low road.
I'm cruising the middle ground.
Looks pretty elevated. Sounds like you're taking the high road.
Listen, it's sad when something like this happens, when a former president is shamefully handcuffed, and maybe we get a mugshot. You don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Digging it in. Where do you want to go first? Trump
dragged out of his home, forced in front of cameras, doing the old perp walk. Maybe there's a coat draped over the handcuffed hands, like he's a mob guy getting let in, or we don't know what's going to happen.
Goodness, listen to you. Will you listen to yourself? Do you want to start with Trump? Do you want to start with Madeleine McCann update? Do you want to start with Epstein? Where do you want to start?
You tell me.
Let's do Madeleine McCann very quickly because it is a quick little update. So Julia Faustina, the young lady who is awaiting to see the results of her DNA test, told you last episode, took a blood test. Looks like she might have leukemia. Not great news for her.
No.
Today, we've got some results, not from the DNA testing specifically, but they did a facial recognition analysis from this company. It's a Swiss AI company called Ava X. They ran photos of Julia. They ran the photos with young Madeleine McCann. They aged Julia back to see what she would look like based off of what she looks like today. And as everybody can tell, or is assuming, I feel like everybody's leaning towards, it was a mismatch. It concluded that there's no way for her to possibly be Madeleine McCann. Yeah, not even close.
I mean, there's so many similarities that the eye thing by itself, is such a rare thing.
Yeah, and in this report here, it says that obviously that's there, and even though she all the signs point to it's close, it's going to come down to DNA testing. I mean, take facial recognition software for what you will. I mean, listen to me. I don't run Madison Square Garden. Okay, I'm no James Dolan. I'm not investing in the latest software to kick people out. Right.
Right.
But they did this whole analysis and breakdown. I saw the whole report.
I bet the whole analysis was like a face swap that they did. What is that? Is that Instagram that does that? I don't even know. What does that?
Yeah, right.
They just did a face. No match. Doesn't look the same.
Tell us about the technology. Well, we went on Instagram and we used that face swap.
Use the filter. You filter.
Yeah.
We put a Clarendon on it, and it just didn't come through the way we wanted. So, no good.
Yeah, so no match there on the Madeleine McCann girl. And I feel like, and again, there's I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, it's coming from they or them, but it kind of feels like as we progress in this story, we're just getting prepared for the inevitable conclusion that this is not the girl. It's not Madeleine McCann.
I mean, does everything have to be a dragged out drama show? I mean, this is a missing person. We can't put a rush on this thing.
Yeah.
Why does everything have to take weeks? And it's just every day. Just find out, figure it out. Why isn't it over by now?
I agree. When international acclaim starts to come, not acclaim, but international curiosity starts to come in, we should bump John and Debbie from Texas on the 23andMe,
they
waiting
want to
list.
know about are they really from Ireland, or are they from Scotland, or are they from Italy? No, you go on the back burner for a little bit. Let's do the missing people cases first.
Again, listen, I'm not opposed to 23andMe because if they ever came in here and sponsored the show, I'd be all for it. But
what are they doing?
I'm saying if 23andMe ever came in, I'd be like all for it. But I will say this.
No, I'm not against them. It's a good thing that they do. But let's go already.
But I'm saying everybody I know that's taken a 23andMe has basically all told me the same thing. They were exactly the ethnic background that they knew they were, and then it was all this. And honestly, I'm 2% Swiss, and then 3% Middle Eastern, and 1.5% African. Everybody has said the same exact thing to me, and the percentages changed slightly. And it's like, well, yeah, because we all started in one spot, and then
then we kind of went like this.
Yeah. So what do you expect? Like, I mean, that's what the answers are going to be.
Yeah, I don't care so much about my ethnicity, my national, whatever. I want to know like who my ancestors were, like what their jobs were, and if they were, famous or not, or if they were a blacksmith or this or that. That's the cool stuff. I don't care if they're from Italy or they're from wherever, but that's the cool stuff. I want to know if I have some cool ancestors in my history.
Not me. I know I don't.
Well, that's a given.
I don't want to pay a lot of money to get, here, it's been 40 centuries of failures.
They just kept breeding for some reason.
Like, did somebody just copy and paste Village Idiot 300 times?
That's not an easy job to get.
Seems like a copy and paste error when it gets down to it. Quickly here, we told you about the lawsuit that is coming from the Virgin Islands against JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon. A Manhattan judge today is allowing those court proceedings to proceed and has expanded it from JP Morgan to JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank. So JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank are both going to be facing lawsuits regarding their association with running Jeffrey Epstein's money.
Good.
4-page ruling from Manhattan District Judge Jed Rakoff. Not every day you get a Manhattan District Judge named Jed.
There are few. There are very few of those.
Yeah. If this was Mississippi, I'd be like, of course, we're going to put Jed on it.
That makes perfect sense.
That's where we need to be.
I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. Jed granted motions by JP Morgan and Deutsche Bank to dismiss some counts against them, but permitted the central claims brought by Epstein accusers and the U.S. Virgin Islands to proceed. So I think this is good. You listen, we'll keep our eye on it. It's important because, the thing is these fucking money people, you look at the system breakdowns, in the whole Epstein thing, and that was the fact that he had just a shit ton of money and nobody was stopping him and he was allowed to operate. So
exactly. And he got his hands into all kinds of businesses and just spread his disgustingness to everywhere. So yeah, the money, if he had no money and he was like homeless on the street, he wouldn't have probably, had all the influence that he had. So yeah, the banks should be held accountable.
And you got to slap these banks on the wrist. By the way, not the first time Deutsche Bank has been fined for their associations with Epstein. In August of 2019, they forked over $150 million to banking regulators because of their dealings with him. So
keep it going, man.
Got to hit him again and hit him even harder.
Bring the whole corrupt bullshit down, man.
The kit and caboodle, if you will.
The kit and Kaboodle. Yeah, I'd say go with the whole thing.
Okay.
Because if that's who's fun, if you're funding that kind of shit or handling all that, yeah. If you're handling that guy's shady dealings and shit, someone's got to be held accountable.
All right. I'm not sure if she's the kit or the caboodle, but she's here, and that's J Sabs. What up, J Sabs?
What up?
What do you want to be, the kit or the caboodle?
The Kaboodle. It sounds dirtier. I don't know.
I was gonna say sounds more interesting, but no, we can go with dirty. That's fine.
That's it.
Latest on the Trump indictment.
Okay. Did you read what I wrote before in the chat?
I did.
I didn't.
It's true though.
It's a while back, but
It's Frank's Christmas.
Basically, in dirtier terms.
Frank has been hard nonstop since he heard. His wife actually texted me and she was like, "Did your husband give my husband some Cialis?" She's like, "Because it has not gone down." And I was like, "What?"
Well, first of all, your husband's been known to do that. Can I just say?
Yeah, I know. He passes it around at parties.
Why is your husband supplying people with Cialis?
Well, sometimes I see him grind it up and put it in the dip. So
right.
Well, that's a
The
part
guacamole.
That's why I love your husband's guacamole. I can go for days afterwards.
Right. And and she said coincidentally, it was at 9:42 on Friday night when he started to get hard. And I was like, during the show?
Got it. Come on. But
man.
did you hear him in the beginning? He was taking the high road. You look up on that road, and that's where Frank is right now. I don't know what's happening.
He should pan down to his fingers and toes because they were all crossed.
No. It's a shame when a former president is hauled away and humiliated in front of millions of people and handcuffed and
like Bill Clinton?
The mug shots and everything.
Not
I don't think
arrested.
Bill Clinton was handcuffed or
no,
arrested.
not arrested, but
hey, listen, if he has to testify in front of everybody because of all this, then it's gonna be
what's
a scene, man.
What's he even getting arrested for?
Spending campaign money on silencing a porn star.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh, okay. If it was personal
you don't
money,
think
that's
that
one
any
thing.
other presidential candidate used their money
illegally?
No, the campaign money illegally.
I have no idea.
1,000%. And I don't even know about politics, and I could care less. But I don't believe that they just use it on the campaign specifically.
You think they use it to silence hookers?
I think they use it on a lot of things that they shouldn't.
J Sabs, what was it like on Trump's campaign? I mean,
right.
You seem to be a big supporter.
What the hell is this thing?
Well, I find this interesting, J Sabs. You're not the only person to say this. Why do people feel the need to? Again, you're not the only one. A lot of people have said this to me over the last.
Here comes the liberal comment.
No,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
A lot of people have said this to me over the last 48 hours. People feel the need to point out that politicians are bad and crooked and all this stuff, and like they're normalizing this behavior. Like, well, everybody does it.
It's like, what?
Well, it's true though. It is true.
Well, then they should all be held. Whoever does it should be held accountable. That's it.
Yeah, it may be true.
Anybody who pays off a porn star because he had an affair while his wife was taking care of their newborn baby, and he had to pay $130,000 to keep her silent and sign a non-disclosure. Anybody who does that should be held accountable.
No.
And use campaign funds to do it. By the way, that's the part that's illegal.
Darn it! I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, let me step in here. So, a lot of people are saying this is a political witch hunt. I don't disagree with that. I feel like they are cherry picking and going through every last thing this guy has done to try and get him on something. But forgive me, I didn't come up with the analogy. I've seen it used before. They didn't get Al Capone for murder. They didn't get Al Capone for racketeering or drugs or running liquor or any of that. They got him for tax evasion. You know, a lot of the times when you lock up bad people, you don't necessarily get them for the thing that.
Yeah, but we also don't know exactly all whatever charges there are going to be. We don't know what they're, what it exactly is going to be. He's going to be hit with. It could be
Okay.
the campaign thing.
Great
And
point.
also in the chat, so Beth says Hillary refused to testify. Trump shouldn't have to. That is absolutely not true. Hillary testified for 12 hours. So I don't know what you're talking about. So and then Trump took the fifth. Kept pleading the fifth every time he was asked about anything. So I don't know where that's coming from. And plus, I just hope tomorrow, if it happens tomorrow, because I saw a video today of people, the cops setting up barricades and all this stuff, because I'm sure they're expecting protests and everything. I just hope it isn't like January 6th that people are going to be nuts and storming places, because that's the kind of shit that he's not against. He posted on his.
Was that a Stormy Daniels pun or?
No.
Okay.
But now it is. But he posted on his bullshit social that protest, take our country back. Now, he didn't say be, insane, but he also didn't say peacefully. He knows what happened January 6th. He could have said, hey, protest, show people that you're against this, but do it peacefully. He could have said something like that, but he just said protest, take back our country or something like that. And that's not something you should, because if there was no January, it's just anybody who's geared up to protest is going to see that and be like, oh, he wants us to go crazy or something like that. Take back our country is kind of gaslighting.
Well, like I always say, everybody has their own mind, so they could just do what they want to do. And if they do what they think the other person is saying, it's on them. Sorry.
So the leader of it doesn't matter.
Well,
so if someone says, I want you to do this, and the other person does it, that's the person who said do it is not even should not be held accountable.
Why are you listening to other people? That's my whole thing. Why?
Well, so then Marilyn, what's his name? Charles Manson shouldn't have been arrested. He didn't kill anybody.
He actually never killed someone, right?
He convinced a bunch of his followers to do it. And he was arrested and put in jail.
That to me is a very thin line, because if you're that fucking dumb.
Well, there are dumb people that do dumb shit. And he managed to brainwash a bunch of people into doing what he wanted. And that's what happened.
Wait, wasn't it just said recently that they did find people he killed, or no? Am I thinking of someone else?
That I don't know. No, I didn't hear that. But
I know there's so many serial killers, and all of them are so hot.
No. I'm just saying Trump. Yeah, I'm just saying it sounds like Trump's trying to get shit going again, and it's irresponsible, and it's just gonna play into anybody who's gearing up and ready to fucking fight is gonna read Trump saying take our country back, and they're gonna get fucking nuts, and it's irresponsible of Trump to do that.
Same thing could be said for the BLM riots, because those people, some people who went, just got geared up just to fight and fuck shit up. It happens all over, though, not with anything. There's people who just out there just to fucking fuck shit up. That's
it. Does. It does.
But nobody was out there in front going, take our country back and let's fucking fuck everything. Let's go. We got to take it back by force. This is what Trump and his people were saying. These are the leaders of our country telling a crowd full of people with fucking nooses and guns and shit, go take our country back by force. That's what they were saying, and that's some fucked up shit. Yeah, if a normal protest gets out of hand and shit gets fucked up, yeah, those people, anybody who destroys property or hurts people, should be held accountable. But when you have people that are there to protest, and then the people in charge, the politicians, start going, walk down to the Capitol and take our country back by force, then you got a problem. Then it comes up to them now. The buck stops with the people in charge then.
What about all the BLM people who were the leaders who were saying horrible things too?
What'd they say?
Oh, it's time to take back our country too.
They said time to...
Yeah.
Is that a quote?
Yeah, it is.
I vaguely, Maxine Waters said something. Do you remember? I think it was her. I think it was Maxine Waters who said something like, I forget what she said. Because I think, didn't she even apologize for it? Can you look up and see what she said? I feel like at the time I vaguely remember us talking about this and us saying, us all in agreement that Maxine Waters was an idiot because of what she said. And I think she apologized for it.
Yeah, if anybody
like
encourages
a day or so later.
Crowd of people to to be violent, then yeah, that's a problem. That person should be held accountable.
That was
Same
it.
way
She
that
called,
Trump should be.
Thank you, Cuddles. She called for protesters to get more confrontational. Remember that?
Confrontation. Okay, yeah, that's not good.
Not a good thing. We're all in agreement that that's not a good thing.
I agree. Not a good thing.
But here's the thing. I want to say this. One wrong, like, just because everybody is wrong doesn't mean that this is not, like, we're in this now. And the thing with this, for me, is we just did this. We just did this with you. We just went through this exact scenario where you put yourself over everybody else, and look what happened at the Capitol. Now we're fucking gonna do it again.
Exactly. This is
for a second time. Like, it's the second time. We just did it. We just did it with you.
And Trump never took responsibility for that. He never apologized. He never came out there and said, I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have done that. He waited 4 hours to say something before he said a word to the people that were busting through and hurting 140 cops.
I'm sorry. Like, cops. Janine's not wrong. Maxine Waters was shitty, and there are other people like that. But
100%.
We just went through this with him.
Exactly.
And this is it didn't end. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you think it hurt him? Don't you think it hurt his popularity?
Yeah, it did. I think so. I mean, it makes him look like he's starting this whole big thing, and I guess it depends on who you talk to. I mean, did he lose followers? Did he lose supporters because of that? I don't know.
I was asking Janine's opinion, like what she thought.
Yeah.
About what? I was reading the chat. Sorry.
I was saying how we just went through this with him, and it hurt him that he lost popularity because of January 6th.
I don't know. I don't know myself. I don't have anything strong enough that I believe in to go and riot against anything. So even if someone told me to do it, I would not do it. So
that's you.
Yeah, that's you. That's not everybody though. And
people that you saw, there were thousands of people at this thing.
The thing is like if we're going to demand a higher standard of Maxine Waters, there's no reason that you can't demand a higher standard of Donald Trump.
The current president of the United States at the time. He was literally the president, standing in front of a group of his supporters saying, let's walk down to the Capitol. And they had a fucking a noose that's and they were chanting, hang Mike Pence. He did nothing for 4 hours. And then he sent a little tweet, a video tweet. And it's like, he didn't apologize, didn't say, listen, I didn't mean to cause any, I was just trying to say this or that. No, he didn't, he never apologized. He never said, I said the wrong thing. It's all, as long as it doesn't affect him negatively, he's all for it. Doesn't matter what happens. And it's irresponsible. And this kind of shit, it's going to happen again. Hopefully it doesn't, if it's just protests, that's fine. People are allowed to protest whatever they want. But if it gets out of hand, it's going to be on him again because of shit he's saying. He convinces people that there's a great injustice going on, and then he gets them all riled up, and he sends them down to where they're certifying the election. It's like, well, what do you think? These people have weapons and shit. What do you think they're there to do? Anybody?
I was waiting for Janine.
I mean, like I said, I don't know. People do what they want to do. That's all I'll say. If is there people out there who are very soft-minded and do what they see as they think as a leader? Sure.
Yeah.
But that comes all over, not just Republicans who support Trump.
I didn't say that. I said the people who were following him, that's what they did. That's just a fact. They were there, and that's what they did. So he's he's getting it going again. It seems like he's like, protest, take our country back. It's like he literally said those words at the end of his Truth Social thing. Protest, take our country back.
I personally think that there was a lot of people there on January 6th who were not that they weren't Trump supporters, but they were all about like America. And they just wanted to do it themselves. Didn't matter about Trump. I think they were just like, crazy. And they wanted to see how far they could get there.
Well, whatever. They got in and they broke into the Capitol. I don't care what they're, they were told to do something and they went and did it.
I think people had this plan even before Trump said whatever. I do.
Well, people are angry. Well, yeah. I mean, that's why Trump was so appealing, because people are angry.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. Who knows if they would have went to the Capitol? They were down by the White House watching his speech. And then he said, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. He started the whole, let's go down to the Capitol. He said, that's where we're going next. And he told everybody, we're going to the Capitol. And then they went there. There was nothing there but barricades, so everybody stormed through. What were they going to do with the Capitol?
Some were let in. Some were let in.
Yeah, because they were outnumbered and they didn't want to have to get run over.
I mean,
I can't believe you're justifying or defending anything.
I'm not justifying. 6th. That was a joke. That was a joke.
All right. I'm just saying. I mean,
but I'm saying
we all saw what happened.
These people who did it, I think half of them did not even think that they were going to get in there. Half of them had no idea.
I'm sure they didn't know how far they'd get. I'm sure when they got there, they didn't think maybe they wouldn't get anywhere, but they kept pushing. They kept trying to get through.
Right. I'm saying those people who tried to literally get in, I don't know if they were all. I don't know if somebody. There was an article a long time ago that I read that this was planned way before anything, because like Anthony said, people were pissed off. So.
Planned by who? By the people busting in?
Yep.
Well, either way, Trump really didn't stop it.
Like, they didn't go there that day just because Trump said that. Like, they had planned to do this.
Okay.
Before he said, let's go there.
That's okay, but he did jump in and say, let's go there. And
right, but did he say, let's go in there and get everybody or whatever their plan was?
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that, but he did sit
go
there
in and hang Mike Pence. But
he did sit there for 3 hours instead of just like hopping on to Twitter and being like, "Hey, everybody, why don't you settle down a little bit?"
He watched it all happen on TV, like everybody else did, a few blocks away, and watched it on TV all unfold, and did nothing for 4 hours.
I'd like to address this statement. Ant is drinking vodka on air, allegedly. No reason to use allegedly ever. And congratulations, Bird, on being a member for 1 entire year.
Hey, very nice.
Yes,
it was just for that, Bird. Appreciate
just about a year ago that we opened up memberships. So Bird is very early in on the memberships.
One of our OGs.
Yes. Very congratulations, nice. Big time across the board. I think we're going to get a lot of these years in the next couple of weeks, so that's very exciting. So thank you, everybody, for the continued support. Thank you, Bird.
Yes, thank you.
Well, here's the update.
Oh, okay. That was a long time to get that.
Well, I
don't know how we got. Yeah, go ahead. What's the update?
I can tell you how. I changed the topic, and then you took off running.
Someone said something. I went all red. I heard just static in my ears, and I just kept saying stuff.
I went to go shoot the gun to start the race, and a car backfired. And when I turned back around, you were gone.
I choose not to listen to your update.
Here's the update on the Trump indictment. This is the absolute latest. He's not going to get indicted Tuesday. By all accounts and all the sources, it's not going to happen Tuesday. They are like barricading the heck out of Lower Manhattan because they're preparing for the worst. Since Trump tweeted that he's going to get arrested Tuesday, they still expect everybody to show up. It's like a huge, rolling ball down a hill. You just can't stop it. So they're expecting people to show up. Who knows if they really will or not? But by all accounts, multiple sources are saying there will be no indictment of President Trump on Tuesday. However, they did say that there is a grand jury meeting. They are hearing the evidence that Alvin Bragg has, and they're going to decide whether or not to move forward. And that meeting that was going to take place between all the law enforcement agencies, NYPD, Capitol Police, Secret Service, that did take place today, Monday. That did take place on Monday. And they're ready to go. It's basically sitting with the grand jury, and everybody's going to have to wait to see what comes about that, which is an interesting thing because sometimes law enforcement, the DA, whoever, will reach out to somebody's attorney and say, we're coming on Tuesday. We're coming on whenever but that did not happen in this case. So I don't know where he got Tuesday from when he put that out on Truth Social the other day.
Yeah, and he also, I think, put out on Truth Social something like I heard something like Monday or Wednesday was another thing. I don't know who said that. So maybe it doesn't matter. Whenever it is. But if it were me in charge of this whole thing, I would say I would move it to a different location. I don't know how that would work. But I would. You can't. It has to be in that place.
It's gotta be.
I'd be like, let's just. Everybody's gonna be there. It's gonna be a crazy scene. Why would we walk him through that? Why would we do anything like this and cause and have some kind of potential catastrophe? Why wouldn't we just move it to an undisclosed location and have it and do not maybe undisclosed, but
this
somewhere
feels
where
weird.
It's not going to be crazy.
This feels weird for me to be on the law side and you on the Trump side.
Normally, I'm just trying to stop any kind of
I get it,
or riots.
But normally, the person who's potentially going to be arrested doesn't send a message to millions of his followers, giving the time and everything else. Like, they could have done this without causing such an insane hoopla.
Of course, they could have.
But I will say this too: somebody leaked this out. Somebody got this info to NBC. They shortly thereafter got it to Fox. Like, somebody.
Yeah, Trump did. He went on Truth Social and said, I'm going to be arrested on Tuesday.
No, because the story of the meeting between the law enforcement agencies is what broke first. Trump didn't.
Before Trump did anything.
He didn't do any. He had not done anything until, when did he send that out? It was Saturday morning, I think. We talked about this meeting on Friday's episode.
Okay.
So somebody put that out there. Somebody
saw the meeting. We talked about the meeting, but there was nothing leaked until when did that leak? When did we know? What was the first time?
Friday.
We heard about him being possibly arrested on Tuesday.
Here's the timeline. Friday, it came out that if Trump were to be indicted, these law enforcement agencies would have to get together and figure out what that would entail. If he would be cuffed, how he would get into the building. Does he have to be fingerprinted and booked like anybody else? And then that was Friday, pre-show. So Saturday morning, just 8 hours later, 12 hours later, he goes on Truth Social and says, I'll be arrested on Tuesday.
So then
protesting.
Yeah, that's him then. He leaked it. He said, I'm going to be arrested Tuesday. Yeah, the time.
Well, no, he said Tuesday, but he didn't leak the initial story. The initial story was the meeting.
Yeah, no, the meeting, sure. But everybody knew that kind of meeting was going to happen. But
I didn't know.
That was all part of the whole. Yeah, wasn't that like common knowledge that we all knew there were meetings about?
No,
there was investigations. Jack, whatever the hell his name is, all this.
We
stuff.
knew that Alvin Bragg was looking into this. I had no idea that it was actually going to bear any fruit.
Okay, well,
I was surprised. Were you not surprised that they were actually talking about moving forward with this?
Yeah, I was surprised, but Trump was the one who said, I'm going to be arrested on Tuesday. If he didn't say anything, We wouldn't know when it was going to happen. Now everybody knows where it's going to be, when it's going to happen, all this stuff. So now there's going to be thousands of people standing there waiting to.
Well, that's exactly the point. Why do this? Like, I don't understand. Other than riling people up, other than trying to solicit last minute donations, if he thinks he's going to put pressure on, people to drop this, I think he's mistaken.
No, I think he wants to cause as much. I'm sorry, but he wants to cause as much chaos as possible in hopes that I don't know what happens. But
at the same time, isn't this all for naught? Because if the grand jury decides, well, there's not enough evidence here to go to a trial.
Right.
This was all for nothing.
Okay.
Which is what goes back to my original point of why did this leak?
Wait, imagine Frank was on that jury.
I would never be on that jury. There'd be no way.
How the hell do you pick that jury?
I know.
How divided we are.
Well, what do you call it? I served in that court on a federal
Grand
case.
jury.
Yep.
What was the case? The case of the missing salads?
I have no idea where they are.
Plot twist, inside job.
Right.
Yep.
No, the woman who brought the gun on the plane and then said she was mishandled. Remember this one?
Sounds familiar.
She came from California because her husband was having his Cornell reunion, and she decides to bring a gun with her.
Oh, I do remember this.
And then when she got to JFK, I don't know. I guess they gave it. I don't know if they gave it back to her because you have to check it, whatever.
She had it on her, or like she was going to carry it onto the plane?
No, you check. You have to check your gun.
Yeah.
But when she went to get the gun back here at JFK, they were like, "Where's your permit?" And she's like, "I don't have it. I don't have a New York permit." And she's like, "I have one from California." And they're like, "You just brought a gun on a plane. You're not, because you're supposed to show it when you pick it up." She claimed she didn't know that when she thought because she had a permit in California, she had a permit everywhere. That does not even work. Mm-hmm. In New York, the gun laws are extremely tough. So if you don't have a permit to carry in New York, you can't have a gun. So she got arrested. But she got arrested at JFK, where they actually have a police station. And she said she was mishandled there. So she was on a lot of medication. So it turns out she was actually mishandled in Queens at another station, not the one at JFK. So there was a lot of loopholes to her story. Basically, don't bring a gun into New York if you don't have a New York permit, lady. Come
Never.
on.
That's the lesson.
Never the city. Yeah.
But she brought a case against the two officers, the two Port Authority officers, which why it was a federal case. So,
like she was assaulted by them. She's
right.
Saying?
But there was no proof, and everyone pretty much. It was like 5 minutes where we were like, yeah, they're not guilty, because she had too many loopholes to her story. And when she
you mean holes?
Loopholes?
Not loopholes. Loopholes
she had holes. She had holes. She had a lot of holes, if you know what I mean.
In different area codes?
Right. When she was cross-examined, she told a different story. And I swear the jury, like, we all looked at each other like, did everyone just hear that? Like, and we're like, come on, man, this went to federal. Like, they couldn't settle this.
Mm. How crazy was it? How crazy was it being in that building, though? That's a crazy building.
That was really cool. That's why I'm saying it just reminded me of being there. And let me tell you, it was cops chasing J-Sabs chasing salads.
I'm sure it's got to be crazy. There's no way I'd ever be anywhere near that, being on that jury. They'd weed me out in a second.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Trump? He sucks. Oh, goodbye. You're gone. How do they find 12 impartial people anywhere in New York?
People lie.
Especially.
That's why people lie.
Like, yeah, that's fucked up. That's why there should be professional jurors.
Well, I mean, you got it. Like, not for nothing, but J-Sabs. I think it's people like her where they're kind of like, I don't care. I don't care enough to look into things. I don't want to know about politics. It's not interesting to me. I think you got to find people that are agnostic to it. That are like, I don't know.
So I'd be perfect on that jury.
You'd be great.
Yeah, whatever.
You'd be great because you'd be looking in there going, I don't know. Well, I don't know because here's the other thing.
A little Republican when it comes to him.
No, not that. I was going to say she's a woman and women don't like cheaters, and we're dealing with a cheater.
Say that too.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Because then they ask you questions like, are you married? Like, they're allowed to ask, are you married? How many times were you married? Have you ever been divorced? Like, all these different things. So that comes into play too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Your personal experience. Yeah, it's all. If there's any kind of bias, have you ever? I wonder if they could ask if you were ever cheated on, or do you have any kind of?
That's the indicator for my wife. If there's a cheater in there, she just is not. Even like characters on shows, she'll be like,
yeah, she won't watch one of the best shows on TV. Oh, hate her. She should watch that show. Go ahead.
She will not. There's a couple of like Don Draper. She never really liked because of the cheating.
Yeah,
she kind of let Tony Soprano off the hook, though. I mean, she doesn't.
How come?
Not really, but
all his cheating.
I don't know. She's very forgiving of Tony.
I'm not. I like the show, but I'm not forgiving of him.
I said Don Draper. Who else? There's been a couple of times where like, you heard her.
Yeah,
There'll be a guy will cheat in the middle of a show, and she'd be like, you know what? She would be liking him right up to that moment, and she's like, fuck this guy, I can't.
I'm with her. Once a guy cheats or girl cheats, I'm like, this fucking asshole. You get no sympathy from me, whatever,
Yeah.
Oh no, my marriage is falling apart. Yeah, because you're an idiot.
Yeah. So the fact that he paid a porn star in the middle of all this, I don't think bodes well for him either. But here's the thing, and we talked about this the other day. I don't know what they have, but they have to tie him into knowing that was what it was for, and that later when he claimed it as something else, that he had knowledge of that as well too. I don't know how you do that because, like I said, when you're the CEO for a corporation like Trump Enterprises or whatever the fuck it's called, you're signing 500 checks a day.
Yeah, and you're not even signing them. Someone else is doing it for you.
I mean, you think these CEOs know the ins and outs of every check that goes out? I mean, come on. There's no way.
I don't know.
The campaign financing is nothing. But I said this before, too, and I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it. When you become the president of the United States, you take an oath. If you lie under oath, that is perjury. And if he's on that plane and he said no to the fact that he knew this money was going out, that's a fucking lie. And that's going to be the next thing that's going to come up.
He fucking lied every day. I don't know. They're all... it doesn't stop.
I know, but you don't understand. You have to be able to prove it without a shadow of a doubt.
I understand.
All right, here's the next thing that's got to stop. So really, this guy is starting to get on my nerves. I understand. Listen, I like to rile up a liberal too, but this whole Don Trump Jr. thing of, in reality, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way.
Fuck? That's so stupid.
Like, I didn't do shit. I didn't violate campaign finance reforms.
Yeah, they're after him. They're not after anybody else.
I didn't pay a porn star that I slept with. No. I mean, I paid everybody's put $3.99 on the website, right?
Yeah, I don't really remember.
You got to pay in cash though, man.
We always do that. Did that, but I didn't sleep with anybody.
There you go.
This whole idea of like he's protecting us from like I mean, come on.
It's so stupid.
Nobody's really buying this, are we?
Oh, he's one of the people. This billionaire that sits on a gold fucking toilet and was president for 4 years. He's one of us.
This motherfucker is he's doing the best he can. Again, I will go back to, was this illegal? Yeah. Did he do it? Yeah. I definitely think he did. But when you get a huge target on your back like he has, I mean, this is just what happens. Like I was saying this before to my wife, you know, people who run the muffler shop in town don't get audited by the IRS often. But when you're like a musician or an actor and you're making all this money, and you know, those are the people who fucking get audited. When you get a target on your back, when you're in the public, you are subject to being run through a fine-tooth comb.
Absolutely.
So you better have all your shit in order. And this guy, I don't know why he thinks he deserves special fucking treatment, that he would be any different. Half the country hates you. You know, you can't just dangle that in your face and not expect it to come back and haunt you. You know, like, did other people do things wrong? To Janine's point earlier, did other politicians do weird shit with their campaign finances? Probably, of course. But they're also not throwing it in people's faces.
Well, you know, he's just, that's just who he is. He's freaking cocky.
What does that mean?
I'm saying that's he's saying, throwing in people's faces. That's what he does. He's just extremely cocky, and he throws it in everyone's face.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
About anything.
Yeah,
about anything.
Of course.
And if you did everything to the letter of the law, you'd have nothing to worry about. But if you don't, you're subject to all the same laws that everybody else is. And listen, you know what's interesting about this too, that I don't hear a lot of people talking about? This was pre-President Trump. Like when he banged Stormy Daniels, he still at that moment did not think he was going to win. So this was like prior to politician Donald Trump behavior that has come back to haunt him. You know what I mean? Like this isn't
like,
stuff.
This is reality show Donald Trump stuff.
2018 Donald Trump would have not made this mistake. This was 2015, 2016 Donald Trump.
Yep.
You know,
I feel like when they do the vetting, when they sit a potential president down, a candidate, and they talk to him and go, all right, spill it. What do we have to know?
There was no vetting here because there was none. There was none.
It couldn't have been.
Because we were a country that was 8 years into a Democratic president, about to head into another 8 years with Hillary Clinton. And it was whatever the fuck we have to do to avoid this. And if it's getting on this asshole's bandwagon, everybody fucking grab a ladder, get on board. And that's what you're going
to say, grab him by the pussy. Or that.
It's unbelievable.
There was no vetting. They had no choice. He had them by the balls and / pussy.
Would Hillary have been worse than Trump? No.
Oh, come on.
A fucking long shot. What would have been so bad about Hillary?
Just her. You really like her?
We would have had to have repaired that glass ceiling. That I know.
I liked her better than Trump.
Obviously.
It's a hard question to answer because, well, first of all, I don't like his tax thing. I never did. Didn't help me none. So
that's why you don't like him. I'll blame you then.
Tax break for the billionaires. Way to
go. Yeah, and I think that's totally fair. Didn't fucking help me, so he can go fuck himself. But that being said,
fucking thing for anybody.
I don't know who would have handled the pandemic better, and that's what cost him his presidency.
Fired the pandemic response team because Obama created it. That was the only reason. Why would you do that? And then all of a sudden there's a fucking pandemic and we got nothing.
I never put this together. Bob with a good point. He will be Epstein in prison with the camera still on. Where do you send him?
Oh, that's a good question.
Rikers, definitely.
Yeah.
Where?
I have no idea. I'm sure it's not regular jail. Prison.
Cuddle says home, Mar-a-Lago, I guess.
Just keep him with a bracelet on, an anklet.
House arrest, I mean, I guess. Maybe. Now, all right, I have a question. Mar-a-Lago is a golf resort. If he's out there playing 18, is that still technically home? Does he have to stay within the building or on the property? Because that's
on property.
Frank said property. You said home. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Depends on what how they. define it. If they depends on what his.
I could just see them hauling him off
sentences.
with a bracelet around his ankle. Big deal. I'll be playing 18 tomorrow.
I'm
You
still
know,
going to be running the
suck it.
country in 2 years. I'll run it from Mar-a-Lago. That's all I do. I'll run it from Mar-a-Lago.
Again, I just to me, like how this would normally go is this Alvin Bragg would ask for a meeting and go, look, we can go through with, I got you. We can go through with this and it'll be really bad. Or you can just go away.
He's not going to go away. You think he'll go away? He fucking said, if Joe Biden wins, I'll go away. You'll never hear from me again.
I don't know. Part of me thinks he would. Part of me, I can't help but think because it's the smart thing to do. Just be a
That's why he's not gonna do
billionaire and get your knob polished every day and just fucking have chicken and play golf and live it up,
He's not going to do that.
And part of me thinks that he'll burn the whole fucking thing down. If I can't have you, nobody can kind of shit,
That's what I think. I feel like
Bless you.
Bless you. I feel like that's his MO. If I can't win, everybody else loses. Bless
I don't
you.
know. What do you think, Jay Sabs?
Do I think he'll come back after this if he gets actually arrested?
No, do you think he's got to burn it all down? Do you think he's got to just fucking take it all down to the ground? Like, will he fight and claw until somebody gives way, or will he just walk away?
No, he'll definitely fight.
He wouldn't stop. It doesn't matter what gets burned in his wake. He's not going to stop. He doesn't care if there's riots, there's people getting in, fucking going crazy in the streets. He doesn't care as long as he never has to admit that he lost an election, which makes him a giant child.
I think there's some reaction out there that's pretty interesting. Ron DeSantis admitted that this was a political witch hunt, and then he was all like, but I don't know about the case because I've never paid a porn star to be quiet during an election year. So he was kind of like,
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He was staying on his conservative side, being like, fuck them liberals. And at the same time, he was kind of like, but fuck that guy because he's going to be my opponent. And and that's the other thing too. Like, let's say he does beat it. Okay. Or that he doesn't even get charged. He doesn't even get indicted. Can he withstand what DeSantis is going to put him through with all of this shit being out there now?
Sure can.
Is this enough damage?
All this stuff has already been out there.
No, but again, if I'm running the DeSantis campaign, I would be like, you've never been anywhere. Okay, so what? You can't put a mask on properly, but you've never fucking remember when he tried to put it on the other way. But he's never been near being indicted for fucking paying off a porn star.
He's been impeached twice. It doesn't matter.
I'm talking about DeSantis running against him.
Well, my point is, there's nothing DeSantis can say that his supporters don't know and already don't care about. What's new? There's nothing new. It's all the.
But the thing is, what I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make, and clearly not doing a good job, is that religious conservative people are the ones that drive most of this party. And DeSantis has a clear, decisive advantage in that area. He's married, never divorced. Nobody has any sort of proof that he's cheated on his wife. In fact, when he disappeared and everybody was criticizing him for that, he was taking care of his wife because she had cancer. He's a veteran. He's a religious guy. Like, I don't know how Trump can,
to his advantage. Sure, it's all.
I don't know how Trump can carry the religious right through this election against DeSantis.
But he already did that. He defeated all his the Republican candidate nominees to become the candidate, and everybody knew all this shit.
I think that was different, though.
How is that different? It's the same story.
I think it was
the Stormy Daniels thing. It's everything.
No, I think it was different because none of those guys could beat Hillary. And I think DeSantis can beat the Democrat. I don't think DeSantis is as weak as that 19 of those other guys. I just don't think so.
I think the majority of people that will make him candidate are, for some reason, terrified of Trump. they don't want to be on his bedside.
Well, it's amazing to me how McCarthy and Jeff, what the fuck's his name there? The Weasley guy. They all fell right into line. They all fell right into line. Kevin McCarthy was tweeting that he's going to have the Congress look into this to make sure it's not, politically motivated and all this and that shit. I mean, listen, if this were, 2024, if this was August of 2024, okay, you have a point. It's fucking March of 2023. Like you're still so far away from that election. I of course it's politically motivated, but you can't fucking prove it. It's not meant to, it's not that close to an election that you could be like, this is all politically motivated.
Well, they've been saying that. Everybody's been saying everything's politically motivated. I don't think that holds any concern for.
You're politically motivated.
Okay, I don't know.
COVID's politically motivated.
Anybody who's on, I feel like anybody who's on Trump's side will justify whatever he does and say, oh, well, he had to do it this way, or he had to do that, and whatever he does, it's for the good of the country. It's like, no.
Well, he's standing in the way of them, Frank, so they don't get you. So.
Oh, good. He's stopping the
Be
FBI
grateful.
from, yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's get to the important stuff. There might be a tequila shortage. This is
What the hell
devastating.
this?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
It's too dry down in Mexico. That's what the problem is.
That's what
Son
she
of a
said.
bitch.
That's
How
what
do you
she
know I
said.
named my vagina in Mexico?
What?
How'd you know I named my vagina in Mexico? Sorry, I had to.
That's
That
good.
was good. It was good.
I didn't see that coming.
Neither did I.
I even made you repeat it and enjoyed it a second time. Yeah, too dry down there. The agave, what they make the friggin' tequila off of, a couple of bad crop seasons, and there's no. Can I have a theory? And I don't want you to call me like I'm on Frank's side. I think the wall is blocking all the moisture.
Yeah,
You
you're
see?
fucking liberal.
Yeah,
You see? Another reason.
that's what I think. I think there's no cool breeze coming down there. It's
Don't
drying
talk
everything
about
up.
When's the last time you went to Mexico?
Sober?
Years.
3 years?
I don't remember when that trip was. We went to Mexico a few years ago. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but why?
Nobody
On a cruise?
does.
No, we went to a resort place.
Paul, has anyone tried going down on Mexico? Not in like a few days. Sorry, Paul.
Yep.
We went. The last time we went was 2010.
Okay.
Such
Okay.
a long time ago. I like Mexico. I had fun. Yeah.
Okay, I heard that all these resorts look wonderful on the website, and then you get down there and it's shit.
No,
Well, nope,
ours was good.
not ours, because one of our friends booked up the trip. One time that we went, and it was really cheap, and it looked pretty. It looked pretty good online. Can I just tell you, it was the worst trip of all of our lives. It was really funny. They had like 3 different restaurants. The buffet, you could not eat anything.
Why not? It was just bad.
Inedible food.
Oh boy, we went to Mexico. All you can. What was it? What are they
All
called? All
inclusive.
inclusive. And it was great. We had a great time. They had a huge pool that went like all through the grounds and everything. And they had a bunch of restaurants. It was right on the ocean. It was great. It was beautiful. On the
I
Gulf,
can't see.
guess.
Let me tell you what worries me about Frank. He genuinely enjoys a lot of things.
Like the Olive
do.
Garden.
I went to the Olive Garden once. I guess when I was a kid, and I don't remember it. And I haven't been back since. I don't know. I just haven't gone. Maybe I'd enjoy it.
I feel like if it was like a 5 or a 6 by most people's standards, Frank would be like, oh, this is like an 8 or a 9.
I like to see the good in things. But this was a great place. It was nice. Everybody was very friendly. They had a lot of activities. I had really no complaints. It was a nice place. Beautiful. Everything was the food was really good. We had no problem there.
Okay, what was the best thing you ate?
Best thing I ate. I don't even remember. It was years ago. I don't remember what we had. But you know, there were nice restaurants right on the water. It was good. I had no complaints at all. You know, there was one place that was like a where you get the coffee that you had to pay for. But other than that, everything was all included.
Why is that?
I don't know what that is.
Same thing on cruises. Like, oh, you want like fancy coffee? You gotta pay $6.
That's $40.
Like,
that trip, it was 6 couples, and one night, I think we were only there 3 or 4 nights. One night, all the couples got into fights with each other, like the pair.
Like husbands and wives fighting,
Yes.
or
Yep.
Okay.
There was a few drinks thrown in people's faces.
What was that about?
I never heard this.
Really? Okay.
Like you fighting with your husband and someone else fighting with their husband?
Yep.
What about?
I think honestly we were all so hungry. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not even kidding you.
You were hangry.
The first night we ate at the buffet, and I was like, can't eat anything. Like there's the second night we were like, we have to go out, even though it was an all inclusive and we paid for an all inclusive. We're like,
that's terrible.
We went to a steakhouse, and that was really good. And then the next night after that, we were like, what do we do? Like, there was like one restaurant, we tried it. It was like, you could barely get through it. But
What was wrong with the food? Well, it was just nasty or gross, or what was it?
Just not good. It didn't look good. And I was like, oh God, because I love Mexican food. I was like, oh, so happy about it. And I was like, oh my God, this is horrendous. But one day there was a bathroom near the pool, and I went with my sister-in-law, and she's in one stall and I'm in the other, and all of a sudden she starts screaming because there was a roach on the floor. And then it started to crawl to my stall. I must have screamed. They must have been like, what is wrong with these girls in the bath? We were screaming that a woman worker ran inside, and she's like, what's wrong? And we're like, La cucaracha. And she's like, oh, okay. But like,
did you see any in the hotel?
I don't know if there was any like in my room. No, I would have flipped.
Else.
No,
I would have outside by the pool.
Yeah, I know. It's like water. I get it, but still, we were not happy. But that one night that everybody was fighting, oh my God.
I agree, because when we went to Sesame Place, we had like, I can't remember, but it was like 3 or 4 or 5 consecutively awful meals. And I just I just remember thinking like this was so much so that what was the steakhouse that we went to? I mean, it was a chain. Is it Texas Roadhouse or some shit?
No,
like a steakhouse.
We didn't. You guys went to Cracker Barrel.
Well, what do you?
Yeah, that was the first. That was the first meal that went wrong.
What are you doing? I mean, you're at a.
Where do we go on like the Saturday or Sunday? I don't even remember the days.
Me and my husband, me and the roommate left because my friend had a free room in AC, and he was like, he had to go for a conference. I know, and we were like, oh, sorry guys, so sad to miss this. And then we had like an amazing meal at Old Homestead. But you guys you guys ate someplace horrible that night. I remember this because we were talking about it afterwards. I don't remember where. Was it Longhorn? Was it
Longhorn? That was it. Okay. It was Texas Longhorn. No, but I got to be honest.
Longhorn Steakhouse. Yep.
It was the first, like the steak. It was not great, but it was the first time I didn't feel like vomiting immediately after the meal. Like it was just nothing but bad chicken fingers and awful biscuit. Like the whole weekend was a nightmare until we got to that meal, and then after that meal, it was like I felt the tension in the group just kind of lower a little bit, where like everybody got a good meal in them, and then everybody was kind of like, okay.
Yes. But so you thought that place was decent? There's one that opened near me, and I was like, maybe we'll try it one day. So it wasn't bad?
No, but it listen, when you're eating
shit, I know.
2s, and then you have a 4.5 meal, you're like, all right, this is doable.
Yeah.
You were at Sesame Place?
This was Sesame. It was the worst weekend of my life.
Are there places? I don't know how Sesame Place works. Is there like, do they have restaurants? Is it like a resort place?
No.
Or is it just like
it's Sesame Place? In Sesame Place, it's just an amusement park with random stands and some inside places that have chicken fingers and burgers, and you have to like drive out, like to stay at a hotel
to go to different restaurants.
Right.
It was the worst.
And restaurants would thrive right around there. You know?
No, because here's the thing. Because I wasn't in on the planning at all. I had no idea we were like 20 minutes away from Philadelphia. No clue.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah, like 20 minutes
Google
away
Maps,
from a
man.
decent meal. But the whole weekend was so planned. Like it wasn't like, what are we gonna do today? You got up and you went to that godforsaken park. You know, like that's what there was to do. It wasn't like, hey, let's go to Philly for a great meal. You couldn't do that because it was like you were there for the stupid park. Yeah,
but 20 minutes away.
You want to hear something funny too? That you said there should be restaurants around there that are thriving. Not really. They have like a Chick-fil-A and like a Chili's, I think. The hotels around there suck. Right, Anthony?
There's got to be.
Don't get me started. We can't go back to this.
But there's got to be so many people.
Now you're getting aggravated. Nope.
But my point is, there's got to be so many people there looking for a really good meal. You think one place would pop up and be like, "This is the place to go. This incredible steakhouse or this, sushi, whatever is around." You know, you think whatever would be high quality because there's just thousands and thousands of people that would be there.
I'll be honest with you. We went to Dutch Wonderland over the summer. We went to two different breweries at night to eat. Amazing food. I'm like, these people got it right. Like, why can't they do that at Sesame?
I don't know.
And they had better hotels, obviously, too. Like, even a better selection. I'm like, I don't get, like, you can't get a good hotel near Sesame. It's like, it's crazy to me. Right, Anthony? Like,
it's impossible. It's impossible. Man. There wasn't one. Like, that was, believe me, because as soon as we arrived and I looked at the place, I immediately went to Expedia and was like, where can we book? That is better than this, because I can't.
That's
and
crazy.
Then we ate breakfast there. Do you remember the breakfast was?
That was horrible.
Horrible.
What is going on, Sesame Place?
Fucking horrible. And then our friend, I'll never forget this. It was just powdered eggs and just shit. And then our friend was like, well, you got to have them make you like a fresh egg. And that's the key. And I'm just like, I want to fucking stab you and then myself next. And then everybody, the whole thing was a fucking nightmare.
I think the point, they probably, because they got you. You know, they know you're coming there. They know you're going to stay there.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it, and
they know it's families.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no other Sesame anything anywhere. You're gonna go there,
and not for nothing. It's not that it's for families that are like cheap or whatever, but it's like if you're not going to Disney World, like it's the families that aren't going to Disney World. Right. Even if you're going to Disney World later in that year, even more so, like you're not going to Disney World now, so it's like you're happy to accept shit.
Yeah,
you're just happy to accept less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when do you make the trip to the transition from Sesame to Great Adventure?
I hope fucking soon. I don't know.
Great Adventure is not what it used to be either.
Is it not?
No, you don't want to go there.
Really? Haven't been there in
years. I'll tell you right now, Sesame Place is friggin' ghetto. We went 2 years ago, and it was the most miserable day, and we weren't even there 4 hours, that my husband, you know him, he was pissed off. That's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
That's hard to do. Get your husband
It was
pissed.
bad. Yep.
It's trash. Well, okay, here's the other thing, and I no way of proving this other than I just know it for a fact. If that park could comfortably hold, let's say 3,000 people, they let 9,500 people in for the day. Because
Sesame, you mean? Or Great Adventure?
No, Sesame. Because you're just waiting online and you're like, this is 45 minutes to go on the fucking merry-go-round that are in most malls.
Yep.
And you're like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
But the kids have a good time.
Well, if they can get on the rides, because, okay, when we went, again, there's kids operating these rides, and they, again, will do the least amount of work they can. So they take them, maybe 2 minutes to walk to the button thing and press it, and then walk back and sit down. They just don't care. The food stations, it was in half an hour to 45 minutes online to get food.
That's insane.
They ran out of ice at some places. It was 96 degrees when we went. They just don't know.
So
somebody was saying they know they're going to close soon.
Next time, Hershey.
That's better, right, Anthony?
Well,
you didn't come with us last time.
No, I didn't. But isn't Legoland like the next up and coming thing? Like everybody wants to go to Legoland.
We went there 3 times already. My kids love it, but it's horrible to say they didn't place it in the best area. Meaning it's kind of like on a mountain, and there's glaring sun, and there is no shade. They don't have umbrellas that shade anything.
Is there like a water park or something? Or?
They're building like a little spray thing for the kids. So it's not going to be like a real thing, but there, no joke. It's like stupid how they have it set up. Like you walk in from on the top, and then you kind of like zigzag around to the bottom, and then you zigzag back up. But the second zigzag is like the mini land, like where they have all the Legos set up. People were passing out over there.
That's
like there's EMTs set up specifically over there because it's so hot. So it's like, how did you not know that this was? I think what happened was they were going to fix it, and then COVID happened.
What could they fix? It's the sun.
Like set it up differently.
Put up trees.
Right.
I guess. Yeah.
There's all sorts of things you could do.
So they rushed opening it because of COVID, because they were supposed to open 2020, and then they got set back a year. But they didn't set it up right, and everybody was complaining too. So it's okay, but it's expensive. It could be $90 per person on a Saturday.
What?
Yeah, that's a lot of money, and there's not a lot of bigger rides to go on. So
it sucks. I mean, you started this conversation with it was okay, it was good.
It was okay.
And now there's nothing to do there, and it's hot, and people are passing out.
We went on a Friday where there was less people. So what's the best place to go? You got Hershey. I would say
Sesame. Hershey out of everything. Great Adventure, all that stuff.
Because they have a water park. Like they have a legit water park.
What about like Great Wolf or something like that?
We went to Camelback. It depends. I feel like Anthony's the type of person to ski indoor water parks.
My wife does. So yes, I do too.
I mean, the thing about them though is that they have drinks. So by your 3rd or 4th drink, you forget all about the germs.
That you're swimming in urine.
Yeah.
I'm so desperate to go anywhere right now. I would sign up for anything, except for
AC, baby, we're going.
No, I'm saying I'm
coming too, and I wasn't even invited. Go ahead.
You're invited.
I'm saying you're not invited.
I'm invited.
I know I'd love for you to come. I know what an invite looks like, and you did not get one.
If we rewind back a few shows, he said anyone could come. I did not know that it was a boys only trip.
I never said it was a boys only trip. I don't do that. It's especially
someone
because
someone else did.
No, if I'm putting it together, whoever wants to be there can be there.
No, I know you said that, but someone else said it was a boys only trip, and I was like, hey, I thought it was like girls too.
No,
was it me?
If you want. You can come on the trip if you want to.
Okay.
Starts with D, ends in Yana.
I will go anywhere except for fucking Sesame Place. I will go anywhere again.
Oh my God. Ask the husband about Sesame Place. You're going to see the despair just go right on his.
So the bottom line is stockpile tequila.
Yeah. The tequila thing is an issue.
That's our roundabout way of saying we got an issue with tequila.
All right. Hillary Clinton incident. Read the headline.
Oh God. I mean.
Listen.
Did you read the story?
I want an apology from J Sabs because that's a lot of judging. Read the headline, stopped reading. We're going to do it all together. And the headline is, and I quote,
What is this from? What source?
page 6.
Page 6.
Fan poops in aisle near Hillary and Chelsea Clinton at Broadway show.
I know. I
I
saw
almost
this.
took a drink. That was a stupid move.
Come on,
While
tell me
you
that's
read
not an interesting headline.
That's interesting. I mean,
Well, it gets
At a
even more
Broadway
interesting.
show?
Go ahead.
All right. Page 6 has learned that a serial pooper has been stalking the halls of legendary Schubert Theater, and the last time they struck, a turd appeared in the aisle near Hillary and Chelsea Clinton at Some Like It Hot. A source.
that's hilarious. It's at Some Like It Hot. I'm sorry, that just struck me as funny.
Steamy pile of turd.
Yeah.
A source close to the show insists that it was regrettable. It was a regrettable one-off incident, but another source tells Page 6 that the theater staff said the shit almost hit the fans
Literally.
at other performances as well. A source said, quote, last week Hillary and Chelsea Clinton were in the audience. The lights came up for intermission, and there were 2 human turds in the aisle right near the famous political duo.
That's hilarious.
I mean,
So now
are
my
they
question,
sure?
my
Okay.
question is, did they poop in the aisle, or did someone have the poop with them somehow and throw it in the aisle and drop
That's a
it?
good question. That's a great
Like, did
question.
someone squat right in the middle of the aisle?
I think it's a drive-by pooping because I don't think you could just squat and lay a fresh turd. I think people would notice that.
I mean, if you got it on deck and it's dark in the theater and nobody's looking at you, I don't know.
Have you ridden the A train where I've definitely seen people just make duties right there and there.
Mm.
So
For a while, I remember in the city where people were just shitting on the streets.
Yep.
That was like
I
a
worked-
COVID era thing.
I worked in this the time I worked in the city, I saw more human poop than dog poop. On
Is
the
that right?
streets, in the subway. I mean, not that I did a DNA test, but it didn't look like dog poop. I mean,
A lot of St.
Did you
Bernards in this
smell it?
neighborhood.
yeah, he's a pretty big for that poodle.
Mm.
well, my daughter sharted in her pants in school on Friday. So you know what? Could have been her. Could have been
So
her.
Years from now, she's gonna see this video. She's gonna be embarrassed.
Oh no, she actually learned something from my brother, which she told her teacher today. Want to hear
Oh
it?
God.
Yes, I do.
Never trust a fart. This is what she tells her teacher.
Never trust a fart.
That's sound advice.
That is good.
I mean, she's right.
That is sound advice.
I mean, every now and then you gotta have a little faith in that
Mm.
you're not gonna,
Mm.
that your fart's not gonna graduate to the next level.
One of my favorite parts about any of these stories is Hillary Clinton and Chelsea Clinton did not respond to a request for comment. Could you
What do you
imagine
say to that?
being
What
the
would comment
reporter?
be?
that
there's
is
shit
like-
in the aisle. What do you want? From
Yeah.
me?
Heard somebody took a shit near you. You want to comment on it? Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can get you a comment on that.
Yeah. What could I say that's gonna add anything to this story other than there was shit in the aisle and nobody knows who did it?
Another source told Page 6 that there was an incident the night that the two of them were there. It was an elderly person, and it's rather sad, but yes, the House staff worked quickly to help resolve the situation, and Act 2 started as scheduled. So they're
Okay, so
saying it
that
was just an old
an
person that
accident.
just shit. Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait. So you're talking about a different incident or the Clinton incident?
Clinton incident, but I guess there's
okay,
two
I
different
see.
sources saying two different things, that it was somebody who just shit, and the other person is saying it was actually an old person who had an accident and shit in the aisle.
All right. So it's an old person shit in the aisle. What are you gonna do? I feel like
I don't know what's worse.
The accident is not that bad. If
Well, I
it's-
feel worse about the accident, but at the same time, how deranged do you have to be to fucking?
To keep
That's-
shitting.
that's if it's a serial pooper would be worse. But the if it's an accident, an old person's accident, that's not bad. That's forgivable.
I just
There's
remember
nothing wrong
something.
with- it happens, I guess.
The guys who I used to work with on Wall Street, they used to play pranks on each other all the time. And one of them,
I don't like where this is going.
no, I don't remember what he had done to him. But one morning, one of them just screamed, and I was like, what? Turns out the guy made a duty in a Ziploc bag and put it in his desk.
Come
Oof.
on. See, there's pranks and practical jokes, and then there's leaving shit in someone's desk. That's a different. You're playing
Is that a different
game.
league?
You're playing a different game. We were all having fun before, but once you put shit in my desk, the fun has stopped.
Oh man, I forgot the retaliation for that one too.
What was it?
I forgot. I'm gonna have to ask my friend. He'll know.
Because you have to one up that. You have to beat it. You can't do something lesser.
It is hard to one up a bag of shit.
I mean, you got to like vomit on the person's
Oh.
face or something.
Well, I'd rather someone leave duty in my drawer than throw up. Anthony?
I've been thrown up on before. It's not great.
They both don't age well as far as smell goes.
Ugh.
Although I feel like a poop will stop smelling after a while, whereas a vomit will just continue to intensify. Is that a wrong assumption?
Well, I don't think you're wrong because I'm sure there's less of the poop.
Because like
feel
a dog
the
poop, for
vomit-
instance,
Exactly.
like a fresh
cat
dog
duty.
poop stinks, right? Yeah, but a dog poop that's been sitting there for 2 days on the sidewalk, you don't even smell that. You don't
I
notice
feel
that.
like
That's
if you haven't cleaned the dog poop out of your desk or off of you, if after 2 days, then you got a different problem.
I'm saying, like, when you walk into your dog and you see another dog poop there, sometimes you don't even notice it. You don't smell it. You don't see,
Yeah, well, I think that's because vomit, there's more of it, and it's a strong. You got that stomach acid going. There's a lot going on there. I was in second or third grade. So before I knew you, Anthony, which is a long time ago, and I'm walking down the stairs from school. Thank God it was the end of the day, so we're all lined up, walking down the stairs. My friend at the time was standing right behind me, and so if you're walking down the stairs, he's above, his head's up here. He's above me and behind me, and he just fucking puked right on my head.
Oh,
And I was covered from head to toe. I was just. So thank God we were literally on our way out of the building. So I walked outside. My mom's there to pick me up, and I'm just like covered in puke. And we walked home. Like, we only lived a few blocks from the school, and we were walking home anyway. But I had to walk home covered in puke. And my mom just threw me in the bathroom and turned the tub on and was like, get in there. Like, it was the most disgusting walk of my life.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, it was terrible.
We don't talk about this enough, that one of women's superpowers is handling vomit without even, when a kid, you don't do that?
I don't have that.
You need to check your pants for a dick, because my wife springs into action like I've never seen. Go ahead.
If there's no one else around and I'm forced to, okay. But if throw up is around me and the husband is around, he knows that's one thing I can't.
He's gonna do it.
I can't even thinking about this right now. I can't even. You're gonna laugh at this, but this is kind of horrible. So my niece stayed over last week and she had a stomach virus, and I felt really bad. But I cannot take, whatchamacallit? I cannot take throw up. I can't.
That smell, it's so strong.
Can't. I put something underneath my nose, so I couldn't smell anything. It worked. Honestly, my nose smell has not come back since. No, I'm just kidding.
What'd you put under your neck? Was it dick cheese? Did you put dick cheese under there?
It was.
Nice.
My husband didn't even have to wake up. I just took it out.
Oh, so, all right. So there's two schools of this. There's the poop or the vomit. Which one's worse? Now, I think for the most part, vomit's probably going to smell. It gets everywhere. But also you got to take into account the consistency of the deuce.
I think a hard deuce is easy to handle, whereas a
saying.
liquidy one is a lot.
Yeah, you got liquid going. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw up.
Well, I awoke into the middle of the night once where my son was covered in both vomit and shit, and
Come on.
I was like, I looked at him like, this is where we part. And my wife came running in behind me and just was like saving the day, wiping him off. And I was just, I mean, I think I cried in the corner.
That's
It was horrible.
You can't. I rather diarrhea than throw up.
I don't know, man. It's both terrible stuff.
I
It's all
can't.
bad.
I'm telling you, I cannot do, because here's the thing. To me, throwing up is the worst thing in the world for myself.
What'd you put under your nose? I can't let this go. Is it disgusting?
No, I have peppermint oil. Secret lib.
Peppermint oil. When did you get that? When you were out voting for Bernie Sanders? You fucking lib.
People in the chat are wondering why we're talking about this. This is because of the Hillary Clinton incident. There was poop in the aisles.
That's right.
If you go back a few minutes, we talked about there was poop in the aisles when they went to a Broadway play. So we're talking about different poop stories, I guess.
I mean, I've been at work and I've seen duty on the floor.
That's not normal.
No, but I've also seen it in
the
the movie
office?
theater. In the office, and I also seen it in the movie theater on the floor.
Come on.
The movie theater?
Yep.
I have to imagine it's me. I hope it's just old person has accident or a baby or whatever
No.
it is. I hate to think it's just some person that's just like, I'm taking a shit here.
I think they're both bad. I know what you're saying. I just think they're equally disturbing.
Well, it's bad, yeah, but I just want to believe in humanity a little bit, that we're not shitting wherever we want to shit.
Well, you've come to the wrong planet.
I know, but
You think aliens look at us and go, God, even we shit in toilets.
They use the 3 seashells.
Yeah,
Nice.
We don't shit on the floor.
I can't help but bring this up, but when Andy on The Office, when he quits one day, he goes on his boss's car, holds onto the hood, and takes a shit on the hood of the car. And it is one of the funniest things I have ever seen. And to this day, I'm like, there's a couple of people on my list that I would love to do that too. Just take a dump right there.
Michael found it in his office, right?
Michael found poop in his office once. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was another funny episode.
But they didn't tell you. They didn't tell you in the episode what he actually found.
That's true. They never acknowledge and say it was shit.
It's implied.
Yeah.
I would feel embarrassed, farting
to leave it
in my office or around coworkers or whatever it is. Imagine just shitting on the floor. What's going on, man?
Just shitting on the floor.
I can't deal with that.
It's a hell of a prank. When you're involving shit, it's a hell of a... I'll never forget when I was at CBS FM, somebody put one of those poop smelling things. They broke one of them. And the whole office smelled like shit. And we worked with a guy who he was not hygienic at all. And he often smelled like shit. And we all just assumed it was him. We had no idea. We were like, this is out of control today. And then we went to go find out that it was somebody and then we thought it was a prank, but it turns out they were going to do it, but it broke in their drawers. I forget what it was now.
Oh, God. You're getting nauseous.
I have a question for everyone.
Yeah.
If you're in the restroom and you witness that someone does not wash their hands after going and they leave the bathroom,
mm-hmm.
Do you have to then inform, do you tell anybody? Like, hey, this guy didn't, don't shake his hand, that kind of thing. This guy doesn't wash his hands.
Like at a party or something?
You blow up his spot. You rat him out because it's like, this guy didn't wash his hand. Nobody touched, nobody shake this guy's hand. Nobody take, Or do you go, maybe it's a one-off. Maybe this guy just had to run out or something.
I'll just say this. In my office, because that whole stupid bathroom situation, there used to be one guy who used to go into the bathroom and never wash his hands.
Ugh, no good.
Come on, man.
In an office setting where you're seeing that person every day, did anybody say anything to him?
I did. I called him out on it because I would
have to.
And he'd be like, "I just peed." I'm like, "You touched your cock."
That doesn't matter. I just peed means nothing.
Just peed. What is
Can I
that?
tell you something, Janine? You're a real American hero.
Merca.
Yeah. You should get some sort of I don't know what the highest medal is for a civilian, but whatever that is, you should get it.
I'm sorry, I could not say anything. I'd be like, "Dude, really? You can't wash your hands?"
Who's more
After
of
how
a
many
patriot?
times? After
Who's
how many
more of a
pints?
patriot? Hold on. That's a good question. Who's more of a patriot? Frank, who told on the guy who was on his laptop on the airplane, or Janine, who stopped the non-hand washer? Team J Sabs, Team Frankie C in the chat.
Here's a question. Here's an
vote right
addendum to that. Did the guy change his ways and continue to then wash his hands afterwards?
Answer the how many times question too. I want to know how many times he did it before you finally said something.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like maybe a couple of weeks, and I was like, "Dude." And then
How many times did he not?
he washed
like,
his hands.
Handful of times.
Yeah,
Unintended.
he washed his hands maybe 3 times, and then continued to not wash his hands again.
That's bizarre.
Mhm.
That is bizarre.
It doesn't take that much longer, right?
I like Paul. Little fecal matter for the. I mean, you're literally spreading fecal matter at the table when you do
Set that
this
up
with
for
unwashed
everybody.
hands. Yeah.
That's generous.
Here's the thing. Just pretend. I don't understand. If you're so opposed to
Run
washing,
the water.
just run the goddamn water. If you're that much of a psychopath,
Just to make me happy. Just run
Just-
the thing.
put everybody's mind at ease.
So if you're in an office and you witness one time, maybe all the other time you don't know, or you haven't seen it, or you don't know what's going on, but you happen to witness one time the person doesn't wash their hands, do you tell other people in the office to
No,
wash his hands?
No,
No.
I can let that slide.
Yeah,
Let that
one
go,
time's
okay.
fine.
Because how many times you walk out of the bathroom and your flies down? Sometimes you're thinking about stuff and you just forget. And that can happen. You get a one-time pass on that.
I
Like-
literally told everybody whose fly was down that their fly was down.
Yeah.
Actually, what I said was, "Oh, there goes your Pokemon."
Got to catch them all.
So, right.
Christine's on my side. We got a lot of JSAB votes here.
a lot of
Urges,
JSAB
JSABs.
votes. Yeah.
Robin says JSAB.
You got one.
I got one. Hey, it's all right. JSAB's got 2.
Yeah, Raven, you're right. It's messed up. He just continued with everyone knowing. Right.
Did he stop after you confronted him?
Yeah, like 2-3 times, and then he continued. I was like, "You're not gonna."
Was it a unisex bathroom? How do you know he
No.
wasn't washing?
Wait, so
Because-
you said something to him and then he just went right back to not washing his hands?
Correct. He washed his hands maybe 3 times after that, and then went back to not washing his hands.
Fireable offense.
Yep.
You got to fire that person.
But how do
Mhm.
you know? People were telling you, or you saw? Because
No, because
the
the
men's
stupid
room.
bathroom was in the middle of the
oh, so you
room.
didn't hear the water go.
and it was a 1-stall bathroom.
You could hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just hear it. If I was your boss, I would fire him publicly in front of everybody and then make a campaign-like speech about how this is not going to get tolerated under my watch. That's what
That's nice.
He actually called him out a couple of times on it. So,
Wow, that's
but
gotta
as
be
a joke,
embarrassing
as a
shit.
joke. No, he didn't care. He was like, "I
Imagine
just
being
peed."
called out in front of everybody for not washing it. I feel like you'd be like, how embarrassed would you be?
Wait. The guy who didn't wash his hands didn't care, or your boss didn't care? He thought it was funny.
The guy who didn't wash his hands didn't care.
Oh, okay.
God, that's so gross.
Don't care for it.
No, no good.
Don't
Wash
care
your
for
hands,
it.
people. Wash your hands,
Wash
Foo-
your hands, even if you just touch your cock. Peace.
especially. Oh,
Dude, if you went into the bathroom to like blow your nose and you touch that door handle, that's a hand washing situation.
absolutely. If there's a paper towel dispenser or something to dry your hands, if I remember, I will use that. I will use a paper towel to open the door to leave the bathroom.
Oh, 100%.
You got, just whatever.
100%.
The fewer things I have to touch in that bathroom, the happier I'm going to be.
I will say this, and I have no problem admitting this. If you don't have a trash can near the door, when I open that door with the paper towel, I will just throw the paper towel right on the floor. Because that is a sign from me to you. Put a fucking trash can there.
That's inconsiderate. That's
That is not inconsiderate at all.
at least throw the thing in the
Nope.
somewhere.
No.
The sink?
Nope.
It's gotta be- no.
This is where the trash can should be. I open the door, toss in the trash. If it's within a tossing, if I can toss it, you're fine. If it's like by where the sinks are and the door is way far away, it is getting thrown right on the floor, right next to the door.
See, it's people like you that. Why don't you just leave a note or something? Hey, or talk to the manager. Hey, listen, can you put or something? Your message is anonymous and shitty.
I don't think it's anonymous. I think it is. You should know better. Like
Anonymous.
there will be a pile of paper towels there. I know there will be, because people are all doing the same thing. We are sending a message.
Okay.
This
Start a revolution with the. You need a garbage pail by the door. I get it.
This shan't be tolerated. See, misfits with me. I do the
Yeah.
same thing. Thank
I mean,
you.
but if Misfit of Chaos tells you to do something, I don't know, man. I see where it's go. I see where that's headed. That line of thought will lead to chaos.
Chaos and the name be damned. That is what a logical person would do. You send a message that
So
come on.
You're at the Ritz. You're at a high, whatever beautiful restaurant. You drop it right on the floor.
Right on the floor.
All right.
Right on the floor.
All right.
I do not care.
It's messed up, man.
A message needs to be sent.
I hear you.
You know,
write it on the check. Hey guys, maybe a fucking thing by the bathroom.
I've done that, by the way, where there has been 3 or 4 towels already in that spot on the floor, and I'm like so glad. I'm like, yep, joining you guys.
All right.
Happy to join the crew.
That's a little more forgivable if you're just adding 1 to 5 that are already there. But if you're starting that trend, it's a little more messed up.
Let me tell you something. I've been involved in both situations multiple times.
We're living in a society. People are supposed to behave in a civilized way.
Foo Fighters, Frankie C. Of course, we lost the great Taylor Hawkins.
R.I.P.
I wondered how long it would take this band to get back together. And then I just started seeing the Foo Fighters on festival bills. By the way, we are in the season of announcing summer festivals.
Oh, that's true.
Everybody is like announcing their summer festival lineup. And I've seen the Foo Fighters on a couple. And I'm like, hey, what are we doing about that whole drummer situation?
Yeah, so what's the news there?
It turns out that they're going to go with not 1, but 2 drummers to replace Taylor Hawkins. I guess they already had dates lined up, or they were just moving forward with dates. Filling
what are you
in.
doing that you can't make time to do the whole tour.
Well, here's the people. Filling in some of the time is going to be the drummer for Against Me. Pretty big band. Not a huge fan, but pretty big band. His name is Adam Willard. And then filling in most of the time, you'll probably recognize this young gentleman's name from a little band called Pearl Jam. But Matt Cameron from Pearl Jam is going to fill in.
That's something.
That's pretty big. So, I mean, they're not talking about it, the band, but clearly when you have Matt Cameron of Pearl Jam filling in, that's not a permanent solution.
Right. Yeah, so I'm sure it's not an easy thing to I'm sure they're probably auditioning people, right? They have to, eventually they're going to have to get someone permanent.
I would imagine so, right? Yeah, that's kind of what this is signaling is like, we want to go out and play. We don't have somebody permanent. Our good buddy from Pearl Jam is going to sit in, and for the few shows where Pearl Jam is going to do stuff and he can't make it, it'll be this guy, Adam Willard from Against Me. So there's that. Finally, James Reimer of the San Jose Sharks is a goaltender. Goalies are wacky, can't be trusted.
Hey,
off the wall people.
Not all of us.
He was the latest NHL player, which follows, I forget who it was on the Philadelphia Flyers who recently did it as well too, but this is the second person now. You're starting to see a bit of a trend here where they're like, well, I'm a Christian and I'm not going to wear the Pride uniform for the night. For those who don't know, NHL teams have Pride nights a lot of the time across the league, and they'll wear a jersey in their warm-ups. When they come out to warm up, they practice in a different jersey. They'll wear a separate jersey that'll have some sort of new design on it, and the rainbow flag or something on it, to promote acceptance and inclusion
Right.
and all that. And so Reimer came out and it's like, oh, well, everybody knows I'm Christian and I'm choosing not to participate and wear the uniform for the night.
I mean, that's sad. That's a sad thing to do. It's terrible because, you get fans that are, I'm sure there are fans of what team James Reimer is from?
He's on the San Jose Sharks now.
San Jose Sharks. I'm sure there are Sharks fans who are part of the LGBTQ community. And to think that your goalie does not, support support you. And it's like, oh, I guess, it's like, what the fuck? Just put on the fucking thing. You're Christian means you're supposed to, I can't stand that I'm Christian. So it's like, well, you could still, Christians are all about, you're supposed to be about loving everybody and accepting people and being, about, just embracing other people, not about pushing people away. I don't understand that. That's a stupid thing to hide behind, I think. I mean, you're using a religion to exclude people. That's not the way, it's not the way it's supposed to be.
I'm with you. I agree. I hate it.
If you're very religious, then you should be practicing acceptance and understanding and love. That's the bottom line. It should be, you should love and support other people, not push them away. That's the Christian. That's the way you're supposed to be Christian.
Yeah,
in my view, you're supposed to be a person.
I'm with you. And this idea of like, it's mutually exclusive and I'm religious, so I can't support that. And, it's just, and then I'm religious, I can't support that. But then if you look at his speech, and it was the same thing as his statement that he released, it's like, I don't begrudge you, I support you, I'm just Catholic and I don't, I have to be strong in my beliefs. It's like, no. Like the whole point of wearing it is to show acceptance, like you were saying.
It doesn't mean that you're gay or anything. Even if you have you shouldn't have a problem with that anyway. I'm saying it's like you're just supporting other people. These aren't bad people. What are you doing? This isn't, people point to the Bible. I forget, there was I don't know if it was Reimer or the first guy that did it that is not wearing it, but there was a quote from them saying that they believe in the Bible's teachings and all this stuff. Well, there's so many contradictory things in the Bible. Like, if someone cheats, they should be stoned to death. If someone, works on Sunday, they have to be put to death. There's stuff in the Old Testament that taught that kind of
crazy. Yeah.
There's some stuff in there that obviously we don't do anymore. So not everything in the Bible is what we do today. So, and I don't know about you, but Jesus never said anything bad about gay people. He said, love everybody, treat everybody like you would want to be treated. So
yeah.
If you're going off the teachings of Jesus, he said to love everybody. So that's to treat everybody like you would want to be treated. That was his golden rule. So,
but they use it. They use religion as this like thing of like, well, and everybody, and it's funny because I just was all over. I fell down a Twitter rabbit hole. I do what I never do, Frank. I fell down a Twitter comment rabbit hole, and people are like, well, good for him for standing up in what he believes in. Like, he shouldn't be forced to wear a shirt, or wearing a shirt. If he's really accepting, he's accepting. He doesn't have to wear a shirt to prove it. Like all this crazy stuff. And I was just like, I don't know. I could not disagree more with what everybody was saying. And what's heartbreaking for me is, first of all, you look for opportunities for change, right? Like, you look at if you watch that movie Lincoln, about Lincoln and how he, passed the 13th Amendment, he found the exact right time to make it happen. He found the time where there were a lot of Congress people who were lost the election, who were going to be out of a job. And he was out there promising them work, in exchange for their votes. Shady as all hell, but whatever. He did what he had to do to get the end goal was what was important. He did whatever he had to do to get there, right? You look at this fucking team, the San Jose Sharks. They're out of a playoff spot. James Reimer sucks balls as a goaltender anyway. If I'm the general manager of that team, I go, if you can't wear this jersey for my team, then you can't play for my team. Thanks so much, but we'll fucking see you on the other side. You go find a fucking job somewhere else.
I agree.
Now, listen, it's sports. It's a business. I'm realistic. I would love for everybody to say that to anybody in that situation. When it's a star player, it's a different fucking scenario. I hate to say it, but it's true. When the fucking scrubby backup goalie says it, that's the time for ownership and management to be like, we respect your right to choose not to wear it, but if you don't wear it, you can't play for my team.
Boom.
And pack your bags, and we'll see you. We'll see you around.
100%. I agree with you.
Because how else are you going to get this under control? This is the fucking second person this season to pull this bullshit. Again, we're going back in the wrong fucking direction.
You know, if I could see if like the team was like, oh, this is an Al Qaeda flag on your shirt,
right?
You know, you're not. And if I was like, listen, I'm not wearing that, and they said, well, you can't play for us, I'd be like, well, see you then. I'm out. You know, that's fucked up. But this is not that. This is people. This is a pride flag. This is something positive. This is to support your neighbor and people that you're supposed to love, and everybody's great, and everybody is supposed to be inclusive and everything. And this is exclusive. This is, you're doing the opposite.
Right.
You're going backwards.
But you're saying, but you're saying in your statement you're not, which is total bullshit. That makes no sense.
Yeah, your statement. The first thing you did by refusing to wear that is you just made a statement.
Is the statement.
That's a statement in itself.
You're right.
Saying I refuse to wear this is your statement to say I don't support this. So that's the wrong direction. Sorry, but you're going in you're living in a different mindset. It's the wrong way to live.
Agree. The San Jose Sharks should send James Reimer packing, and there's no reason to continue to support him. There's just none.
It's 2023. Equal, you know, everybody's. I don't understand the hate anymore. I don't get it. Even back then, I don't understand it. What are you worried about?
When did a pride? Okay, this is a jersey, but for all argument's sake, a pride flag. When did a pride flag become offensive to a religious person? When?
I don't get it.
And then here's the other thing. You think there's not a gay guy on that team?
Could be.
In that organization? I don't know how you could just rub your nose up at somebody that you're in the trenches with fighting next to. You know, I don't get it.
And I'm sure there are people that work behind the scenes in the offices that are. There's probably, you know, gay people in the offices.
It's an impossibility. How many people are in an organization? 150? It's impossible.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, imagine you're an intern or you're anybody, salesperson or whoever, and a goalie on your team, guy you work, you know, you're trying to put money in his pockets, is like, nah, I don't believe in your cause. That you're saying that you're not. You're saying in a way, without actually saying the words, you're saying that they don't deserve equal representation as the jersey you put on.
Right on the nose. That's exactly right.
Whatever the last one did, you did what? Whatever it was, Black History Month or Women's Month, whatever jersey they put on to support
cancer. The hockey fights cancer. Yeah.
The gay community doesn't deserve equality in that, and you know. So what are you doing? That's the wrong way, man.
Absolutely.
No good.
And I think the teams need to put a stop to this immediately. Like this is allowed to continue. Like it happened to the Flyers, and you could tell they're like, oh, we don't want to be involved in this social discussion. You know, they kind of tiptoed their way around it. They're like, we respect the guy.
That's all right. That's the wrong answer.
It's wrong, but shit happens and people want to not get involved, and I'm sympathetic to that. But now this is number 2, and like I said, this is a prime chance where this guy has no legs to stand on. Here's an opportunity to shut everybody up across the league and just be like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, you know, hate-inducing behavior.
Yeah. I mean, the Flyers thing, if that happens, like by putting on the jersey and the patch, unfortunately, it becomes a political thing for some stupid reason. It should just be acceptance, and we're all on board, and everything should be great. But you're inviting like people that you're not gonna make everyone happy. Someone's gonna have a problem with it, and when they do, you got to say no. We're sticking with pride. We're supportive, and anybody that doesn't support it can go screw themselves. We're happy to stand behind this.
Can go heterosexually screw themselves. Does that help?
That helps, but like someone on my team doesn't want to wear the patch. I'd be like, then you're not part of our team. Then this is what we believe on this team. We believe in equality. We believe in positive. You don't want to be a part of that, then you're not a part of it. Goodbye. Exactly.
Like you got to take a stand. Like this whole free speech, and we have to support everybody's individual rights to because that's the argument you get. Well, if you're supporting a gay person, how could you not support a religious person? Because one is clearly wrong. I'm sorry. One is clearly wrong. It's hate disguised under religious freedom. It just is. And we're not saying that he should go to jail for it, but like, again, it's not something you can mandate. You just can't mandate that everybody has to wear the jersey. Obviously, if he doesn't want to wear it, you can't physically put him in the jersey. But ownership, management needs to stand up and be like, if you can't play in this jersey, you can. Just like the guy in A League of Their Own. Ladies, if you can't play in this, you can't play for us, right? And they were all like, okay, I want to play really bad, so I'm going to fucking wear a skirt.
Right. Well, to be fair, that was fucking sexist bullshit too. Or not too, but that was sexist crap.
Agreed. I mean, the point was there, though. You know what I'm saying?
That was a negative. But this, it's like the people wearing the jersey should... they have to wear the regular jersey that has nothing on it. It's the team jersey. They have to wear that. This is another part of that. This is also, not only is it supportive of a community of people, it's also the jersey. You got to wear it. Sorry, this is what it is.
Might be Paul's best idea ever. Make him wear it too.
That would be good.
That'd be fucking great.
It's all right. You don't have to wear it, but now you got to wear this. But no, I mean, 2 reasons to wear it. The big one is support your neighbor.
Yeah.
And love. The other one is you're part of a team. You got to wear the jersey. But
it's stupidity too.
That shouldn't be the reason. You should want to wear it because you want to do the right thing.
It's stupidity too. Like I support him. I just don't want to wear the jersey because no, you don't.
And you don't support.
You don't support him. Now listen. For instance, like I support Frank. Right? Like clearly he has decided to become a swinger, and
it's not upside down. They're not upside down.
It's not.
No, those are right side up.
The one on the side there looked a little upside down to me.
Well, that's the hem. It's all
okay.
This is like the ridge of it.
I don't know if it necessarily has to be upside down. Let me see. Turn it around the other side. Are they all facing the right side?
They're all facing up.
I got nervous there for a second. What's that one on the bottom there? Is that the hem? Looks like it's upside down.
That's a bird.
No, flip it to the other side. You did some trickery here. That one right there. Oh, I see. It's the
there's a thing over it.
The thing for the others. No, not right below it. It looks like it's upside down, but that's like another one from the other side.
Yeah, it's in the
yeah. What is that? An eyeglass case?
It's an eyeglass case. Yeah.
Where'd you get that? Your AARP membership? Is that a free gift?
Shut up.
It's terrible. Is that yours? Please tell me that's
no,
your mother or mother-in-law's, because
it's a sunglasses case.
It's a what?
It's a sunglasses case.
Oh, is that sunglasses? That looks like somebody who's considering retiring down to Florida. Glass case.
Okay.
That's what that looks like.
Not make fun of the way. If I want to swing, we want to swing. That's
no, I support it.
I don't think you do. You make.
Listen, I'm going to wear the swinger jersey on swinger jersey night. Okay,
believe that when it happens.
All right, Frank, listen, we've given far too much good show to continue.
Really?
Yeah, it's time to hang it up.
All right.
I mean, any
Say
more
so.
good show after this point would be undignified.
I hear you.
Oh, shit.
Bottom line, support the LGBTQ community.
Is that a Kate Spade thing?
I don't know.
It's not Kate. If I know Frank,
It's
it's
Vera
well, his wife
Bradley.
has taste. He doesn't. I don't know.
It's Vera Bradley.
Oh, Vera Bradley. I think that's fancy.
I think so too.
I'm impressed
There you
by
go.
it, but that doesn't necessarily mean fancy.
I don't know, but it's nice. It's cushiony, very thick.
I think you put that up to spark some swinger controversy. Like, I'll put this up here. People will think I'm swinging.
I won't deny it.
All right. Well, listen, here's what's important. Swingers clubs, an expensive proposition. So make sure you become a member so you can support Frank and his wife's new lifestyle. You can join now for as low as $2.99.
It's right side up, dude. We're good.
I'm
like
not judging you.
pineapples. We like
I'm not.
pineapples.
Pineapples are delicious, aren't they?
They're wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
problem.
a hell of a thing to make your symbol.
Show me potato salad.
Swinger people.
Jerk.
Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.
Good night.
Go ahead.